5 things that completely changed my life. And I want to share these with you today because I feel like they were such small little shifts that maybe you can do them too. And if you're on this journey to change your life or to make a big change or a big shift, you'll want to listen to these 5 things. Before I get to them, my name is Tiffany, and I have spent the last 10 plus years on this journey of changing my life, finding my light, finding my purpose. I have older kids and younger kids, so I have what are called age gap kids. And now that I have more time to myself, I have tried to figure out what my second act is. And I've decided my second act is not only sharing the knowledge with you, but using this platform to share all of these things that I hope can help you create a life you love, just like it did me. So these are the 5 things that I feel completely changed my life. And I'll start with the first thing. The first thing is I found time to give myself. As a busy parent, as a mom, as somebody who works full time, finding time for myself from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed can be very difficult, especially if you are your kid's go to person and you work full time. It can be daunting trying to figure out how to make it all work. And the one thing that I realized I needed to do was find little pockets of time that I could turn off mom mode. And what worked for me was finding that time first thing in the morning before the rest of the family would wake up. And it took me a while to get to that point. And I can create a whole nother video on waking up and giving myself time in the morning and getting that routine set. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to learn more about. But as of right now, there's days that I get up anytime between 5 and 6. And I usually like to set that wake up time at least 2 hours before I need to be in mom mode, waking my kids up, getting them ready, going somewhere, whatever the case may be. I like to have that time for myself prior to. So it might look a little different. I did a whole video on how I created that routine and gave myself flexibility with it. And it looks like this, but it's linked down below as well for you to find. In that morning routine, I found that I needed those 2 hours to myself, and it was the start of changing everything for me. Because before then, I got up, got the kids up, went and got ready, got them breakfast, got out the door, got them to school, worked, picked them up, hung out, made dinner, or I didn't make dinner. I'm not that good at making dinner, but had dinner. Then it was homework, whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden it was just time for everybody to go to bed. And I realized that in all of that busyness, I kind of just felt lost a little bit every day. And the easiest thing that I could do for myself is figure out how to give myself some of that time. So while I had to adjust my sleep schedule a bit and change a little bit up for me, it sparked everything changing for me, is finding that time for myself, that gap of time where I could be off. Didn't have to be in partner mode. I didn't have to be in mom mode. I could spend that time doing things that lit me up. And for me, those are things like meditating, journaling, exercising. As a busy mom who works full time, I could never find the time in the afternoon or at night to exercise. So I knew I had to dedicate that time for myself first thing in the morning. It gives me time to build my side hustle, to build this. All of these things so that when I started to finally get ready in the morning and get my kids up, I already was in a good space because I had had that time to do what I needed to do. And so again, let me know down below in the comments. Just say, make a morning video if you'd like to kind of learn more about that morning routine and how I created the space in order to wake up, because I was the number one snooze queen and would hit snooze 5 or 6 times before I would actually wake up. And I really had to learn how to break that habit so that I could wake up in order to give myself that time. But I'm telling you, if you figure out, and again, it doesn't have to be in the morning. If your gap of time works better for you, it's in the middle of the day. Whatever you know you can consistently give yourself, that was what was important in order for me to start changing my life. So, the second thing that started to completely change my life, and as woo woo as this sounds, is journaling. I started journaling not only to get out all of the feelings, because that can help too, but I started journaling in this manifestation form of stating these things that I would say, that I would always start with grateful. So I would start with 5 things that I'm grateful for, because I truly believe there is science behind learning gratitude and leaning into that space of gratitude. But in the journaling, the way that I would journal was to list things as if they've already happened. Anyone who has followed Bob Proctor or followed any of the manifestation experts out there, you know, it starts with the things that we're telling ourselves and the things that um, we're telling our brain, right? Because we create that reality with the way we think. And so I would write things down that as I look back at those journals, I realize I'm living that life right now. So for a long time, I would write an exact number that I would make in my salary. I mean, it was just some number I had in my head. It was not just around 100,000. It was more than that, but it was this very exact number. And literally last year, when I looked at how much I brought home plus my bonus, I mean, we were talking dollars off that number and the number that I had been journaling for all of those years. When I've wanted a promotion at work, I have journaled that I have already had that promotion and what that promotion felt like. Now in my journal, I journaled the house. I swear I created this house that I'm living in through manifesting it. So I live in a very like suburban type area. Housing is very usually split, and I know that they're building a lot of new houses that are those huge open plans. But I always wanted an open plan, but since I was little, I wanted this house where it was almost like a loft. And I grew up in the 80s, and living in a New York City loft, I thought was going to be my dream. If anybody ever watched Big, you know exactly the kind of like loft space I'm talking about. And you just don't find that type of space around a suburban city like I live in. And I remember deciding to sell my house and then looking to purchase a new house. And I kept writing, when I walk in my house, it is a big open space. It is, I can see from the front door to the back. I also wanted a pool. Um, we live in Florida, and I wanted a pool in order for my kids to enjoy that. And when it came time that I was finally starting to look at houses, I saw this house and I walked in, and I literally, you can see when you open my front door, you see all the way to the back. My whole layout is this one open rectangle plan with all the bedrooms on either side. And I didn't even think something like that existed around where I lived. And I literally walked in and I said, this is what I've been writing down this whole time. A lot of pools are fun with like curves and all this stuff, but I remember drawing out like my dream backyard. And although there's some things missing, my dream backyard was always this nice rectangle pool, big pool. It's exactly what I drew way back when I would be visualizing what I wanted my backyard to look like. And I know everybody has heard about journaling and the thought about journaling, but this has changed everything for me. Now my journal looks a little different. There's 9 things that I write out every day that are my next set of things that I want to accomplish. But the importance is writing it in a way that it has already happened. So you write that I love and I've always wanted this white Jeep, and I'm trying to manifest this. And I write, I love my white Jeep, and driving it around. I have pictures of it on my vision board. And again, if you want a little pre-made template for you, I actually have one. I've linked it in the description. But it's just it says, leave space to write your gratitude every day, and then it leaves space to write what you made happen. It's a free download. Go ahead and in the link in my description, and you can find that template, because I just use that so I don't have to rewrite everything every day. I love anything that can be a template. So I've got that in there for you. Have you subscribed to my channel yet? This whole channel is about helping people learn how to reset, rise, and thrive through systems and routines, and building habits with grace, and giving yourself that opportunity to create the life you love. So don't forget to hit subscribe, and go ahead and give me a thumbs up for this video so that I can share it with more people. And hit the little bell icon so that you can be notified anytime I post a new video. Thanks. So number 3 on my list of the 5 things that completely changed my life was learning and growing. I have been constantly seeking out new knowledge. And I remember in school, we all, when you're in like elementary, middle, high school, or, all of that, you don't always love learning. If you go to college, there's some classes that you take that you're taking because they're prerequisites. And then you take classes that you're like, oh, this is really fun. And when you graduate and you start working, you kind of lose out on that knowledge and learning new things. And so it became very important to me to seek out learning and seek out new knowledge. So I did that through, and I'm an avid reader, but I read mostly fiction books. And for seeking out the knowledge, I would set a goal to read at least one nonfiction book or listen to one nonfiction book. And you just learn little tidbits in every book that you read. And I listen to podcasts. I find YouTubes just like this one, where I would seek out to learn new things. And the thing about the way I sought out new knowledge was I didn't have to read a book from cover to cover if it was about a particular topic. I would read it to get what I needed out of it, and then I would stop, put it back up on the shelf. If I got what I felt like I needed to get out of that book, so I think of a book like Atomic Habits, which is a great book. I've listened to parts of it. I've listened to podcasts about it. I've listened to YouTubes that have summarized it. I have the book and I've read the book. I read that book until it got me to the point of where it said to identify yourself as someone who's already done that particular thing. So with that first thing I talked about was finding that time for myself. I had to learn how to wake up without hitting snooze. And it was a combination of listening to Mel Robbins talk about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. And in Atomic Habits, I stopped identifying myself as someone who couldn't get up without hitting snooze 5 times. And I started identifying myself as I am someone who wakes up on the first alarm. And just learning just that bit of knowledge within that book, when I got to that point, I'm like, that's what I needed. I needed to hear that part. And I happily put the book back up on the shelf and I share it with other people. And I know there's other parts of the book that are great, but it was just this idea of what I needed to learn from that. And so I don't try to say that I have to read every book cover to cover. I'm just constantly seeking out new information. And I feel like it's one of those things that as I learn a little bit about this and a little bit about this, it has helped me completely change how I live my life and completely change from where I was at to where I'm at now. And when I talk about those things, when I say I completely changed my life, I think of things like I went and improved my salary by 130%. I have completely shifted my whole relationship with my husband and how we are as a family unit. I have had my kids go to school debt free, and one has already graduated and one is currently in college going debt free. There are little things that I feel like I accomplished in order to take these risks and do these things that, if I look at my life 10 years ago to now, I love the life that I've created. I am grateful for where I'm at, and I only want to get better. I truly believe in that whole be better than yesterday. So I am always on this journey of improving by just that 1%. So seeking out all of that new knowledge has really just helped me share. It helps me with every little bit. It helps me at my job that I do 9 to 5. It helps me with my family. It helps me as I'm parenting my kids. So, whatever knowledge that you're seeking out, it can be about whatever you want it to be. Mine was always about learning about manifestation, learning about productivity, learning about little business tips. Those were things that could impact my day to day. And so I encourage you to find what's going to impact your day to day as you are creating a life that you love. So, number 4 on my list, and this one's huge because it really shifted a lot for me. And before I tell you what it is, I'm going to just be 100% honest with you and tell you I am an anxious attacher. So, if anyone knows about the attachment styles, the love languages, um, I am a big anxious attachment. My love language is words of affirmation. And my husband is a big, what I would consider avoidant. And his love language is not my same love language. And for years, I felt like I was always constantly kind of battling this and very insecure in my relationship. And doing this one thing completely shifted that. I think our relationship is better than it's ever been. Um, I do not consider myself or align with that anxious attachment anymore. I really truly feel I have moved into this secure attachment phase. And although my husband, I don't think has completely shifted out of the avoidant, I think I've allowed him to be who he is. And in that sense, he feels safe to have our relationship kind of be flipped on its head. So let me tell you what I did. The number one thing that I did that changed all of that. And it was found my passion. It was found this thing that I call my second act, which is sharing this kind of knowledge with more people. And I share that through various channels. I share that through my TikTok or Instagram. I share that through these long form videos on YouTube because I truly feel like when I'm happy, my partner's happy, my husband's happy. When he's happy and I'm happy, our kids are happy. When our kids are happy, they go to school, and at school, they're happy kids. So they get along with their teachers, they get along with their peers. When I go to my job every day, especially because of that time I give myself, that first thing that I talked about, that time I give myself in the morning. I go to my job every day completely ready to be on from 9 to 5. I don't feel like I rushed to work. I don't feel like I didn't get anything in for me. I am ready and to be 100% present. And that affects every relationship I have with my coworkers, with my boss, everything. And it's always one of the things that I am told a lot is how positive I am at work. And I truly feel it's because I have found what lights me up inside. And in my relationship with my husband, I feel like it completely shifted. And it shifted as an anxious attacher. It shifted because I wasn't looking for him to fill this void anymore. And with him not feeling like he had to do a particular thing to make me happy, it I feel like it freed something in him to where he can like sit back and relax. Because even though I feel like avoidance always get bad raps, and anxious attachers always get bad raps. If you can find, as an anxious attacher, what lights you up inside and your passion, and you stop seeking that other person to fill all of that for you, then it can shift and let them feel a little bit safer in the space to just be who they are. And sometimes they're just more willing to give you exactly what you have always wanted, but you're not demanding it of them. And so it almost comes a whole lot easier. So finding my passion changed so many things for me. I I love my job. I love working, um, but it didn't fulfill that thing inside of me. And I've had career pivots where I was in corporate, then I was a teacher for 15 years, and then I am back to corporate. And again, that can be a whole nother video. If there's any teachers out there transitioning or wanting to transition out of teaching, let me know below, and I will make a video about what it took for me to transition from teaching to corporate. But I really truly feel like I can give myself to every space I need to be in because I have found what lights me up, and I give myself that every single day. And then the fifth thing that I think completely changed everything for me, and this is more in a mental space, but moving my body. I am one that I didn't really get into exercising. I always wanted to be in exercise when I was younger and in high school. At the time, we only had like the Cindy Crawford videos and those kinds of things. If anybody remembers that, tell me that down below. Go ahead and put like a little, like, like that little bicep icon down below. But I always wanted to be that. And I got into it. And then I had my first daughter. And I became so involved in having her that I worked and I paid attention to her. And I didn't want to take up any more of my time doing anything else. And then I had my second. And after having my second, there was just something that shifted inside of me that said, I want to stay as healthy as possible for them. And it also, the chaos of every day, the busyness, the stress of raising kids, all of those things became so overwhelming that moving my body and giving myself that opportunity to do it, not to lose weight, not to look a certain way, but mentally, it gave me that space that allowed me to feel less stress when I was with my kids. So even though I always felt bad, when my older two were younger, I would take them to the gym with me. The gym had a gym daycare. They loved going there. I had a friend that I would always do it with, and they loved going there. So I didn't feel so bad that I was giving an hour to myself to go to a workout class or to work out. And then as times changed and things shifted, that workout time came first thing in the morning, or because they got busy in activities in the afternoon that I couldn't do that time anymore. So throughout my time in stages with my children, it's always been a little bit of an adjustment to figure out when can I give myself that time. And now that I'm older, my youngest is 11, so he's capable of being so much more independent in the morning. But again, I shifted everything to give myself that time. So every morning I have 45 minutes to dedicate to moving my body. And I have found that if I don't start my day with that, it's not the end of the world. But if I start my day with that, my mind is clearer. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to give what I need to give to each kind of space I walk into. And moving my body can look different for everybody. For me, as I've gotten older, and I'm 47 now, so I can't do the high intensity workouts anymore without, I feel like, gaining all of the weight. So I walk my dogs, or I walk with a friend, or I walk by myself and just enjoy the silence. And I lift weights. And the strength training has really become important to me because with an 11-year-old and a 22-year-old and being 47, I know that when I'm 60 and I have grandkids and my, I feel like I'm only going to be in my mid 50s when my son graduates high school. I want to be strong. I want to be able to do whatever I need to do. And I want to do that as long as possible. And I know strength training gives me that opportunity and gives me that space to keep my body healthy and strong. And I'm never going to be the platform to tell you how to work out and to do all of the things. I just know finding my purpose in working out was so much easier to maintain the act of working out once I found that purpose. So moving my body became critical to my mental health. It became critical to me showing up in the spaces I needed to be the best I can be. And it's a scheduled part of my day. So I use time blocking or time boxing, however I've seen it referred to, both. And let me know if you want me to do a whole video about that, because I've got a link down below of the templates I've created for time boxing. But the night before, every day, I go and time box my entire day. And I look at my week. And again, having all of these different reasons why I might want to plan things out and take control of my day, I have different templates that I can use as opposed to buying one and only having one template. But time boxing has been critical in understanding what time do I have, what time do I have to give up that are for appointments or for my kids or pick up or taking to school or work meetings or work itself. I find those other gaps in time, and I literally have every half an hour broken down. And again, if you want a video on that, go ahead and put time boxing down below in the comments, and I will do a whole video around time boxing, because that's one of my favorite things that I feel like has helped me take back control of my day. So I hope that you saw something in this video that you can take back and maybe apply to you, whether or not it's figuring out how to give yourself time. You can just start with that. Journaling, figuring out how to manifest that future for you that you know exists and you just want to make it happen. Growing and learning, seeking out new influencers on YouTube, new knowledge on YouTube, new knowledge in podcasts, new knowledge in books, whatever way you like to intake new knowledge. I encourage you to find that out and mix it up with the things that you just do for pure enjoyment, like watching reality TV or watching a TV show. It doesn't mean you have to spend your whole 24 hours seeking out new knowledge, but find little pockets of time where you can switch it up and learn something new that day. Finding my passion, again, changed everything for me in figuring out what lights me up at this stage of my life. And with this new set of time I have, because my oldest is out of the house, my middle is in college, and I just have my youngest home. It's such a different life than when all three of them were at home and busy and in different stages of sports and everything. And then moving my body. Find ways to move your body that is gentle for you, that is worth it for you, and figure out and see the change that can happen if you are willing to move your body and do those things. Thank you so much if you made it this far. I have a free 30-day Reset and Rise challenge linked below in the description. I'd love for you to join. It starts whatever day you join. I share out just a small mindset shift, action, and journal prompt every single day. It just gets delivered straight to your email. I have time boxing templates that are available down below, and I have the gratitude journal and how I journal template down below. And there's lots of resources down below. Go ahead and tell me, what video do you want to see next? Are you still here? This is the next video that I think you should check out. It's the ABC routine method, and it's all about creating routines with grace. Go ahead and check it out.